Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. This is a first for the channel. We're going to go on a night time drive and hopefully you're going to like it. Hopefully it won't be flickering and flashing out and fading out too much on your screens. I toyed with having a big light in the car, but that sort of destroys the nighttime view. Anyway, without further ado, where are we and where are we going? Well, we're starting our descent from Army Village, which of course is where we live, and we're going to go through Konya Village, then we're going to join the Limassol roundabout, then we're going to go straight over that down towards Paradise. Debenhams roundabout, straight over, yeah, we're keeping on going towards Paradise, the downtown Cato Paphos harbour and promenade area, but at the roundabout that connects us to the inner ring road, as we call it, instead of going straight and driving straight into the main reception of the Olympic Lagoon Hotel, no, we're going to take a right and we're going to join that inner dual carriageway, as I call it, and we're going to go and head out towards Little Russia, as we call it. Then we are going to join the Paphos Mall roundabout, and then we're going to head out on the Tomb of the Kings Avenue road. Why are we going along that road? Because there's a McDonald's on there, Miss Andrea, and that's where we're going for tea. So buckle up, kick back the shoes and relax. Mr. Paul is in charge of this ship, and hopefully you're going to enjoy the drive. To give you an update on where we are, well, Edward, as you now understand, has been sent on his way. He has been buried, and as tradition goes now, for the next few days in Georgia there will be an open house, and friends, relatives and anyone, to be honest, is more than welcome to pop in and pay their respects to the family and sit down, have a chat, have a cup of tea or a cup of cha, or whatever, well, something stronger if they want. I'm sure my Uncle Bruno will be there, and I'm sure he will be raising a glass or two, and he'll be drinking a bit of the old cha-cha, as it's called, and that's a very, very, very strong local drink. Mr. Richie, so Richie, if you're watching, it's on a par with that alcoholic beverage that you brought as a gift to us when you came to visit us in Paphos in the summer. Hope you're doing okay over there in Bratislava. Big shout out to you. And there's a new star in the show, by the way. There's a gentleman who's joined the channel, and he likes to ride alongside me, and hopefully, Alan, you're with me. I did check over my right hand shoulder and I'm pretty sure I saw that twinkle in your eye. So flick the machine on and let's get going. Now, the other night, because I was missing Marika, I decided to watch Marika and me. It's not something I normally do, and I came to understand as I was watching it that the videos are, well, atrocious, to be honest. But a lot of that's to do with the road surface, and a lot of that's to do with the stupidity and the monkeying around with the camera and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I watched some of the videos, because if you understand, I'm actually filming the videos, so you know, technically I've watched them. But when you watch them, they are slightly different, because of course you're only seeing a snapshot in town, shall we say, or a snapshot in town. Where are we now? Limassol roundabout, if you're curious, and we're going to wait for this traffic to clear and we're going to go straight over it. But anyway, I was missing Marika, so I watched one or two videos, and they played randomly, so there were some driving videos, so I got to see just how bad they were as well. And anyway, get to the point, I watched two videos that they played back to back, and they were two videos the day before New Year's Eve, and we were on Rikos Beach. If you've watched that video, perhaps you'll understand now what I'm about to say. I watched that video, and I know I filmed it, and I know I was in it, and I know perhaps I'm biased towards Marika, but I watched that and I was in stitches. I really was. Absolutely hilarious. You know, me and Oching Receiving a Booth walking along Rikos Beach on a beach walk, and well, she started singing the Bring Back or the Bring Back, telling us about her English teacher, telling us about sore throats. And then she told us the anecdote of Peter and Paul and how everyone wanted to be Peter's wife. And when she told that anecdote the night before, by the way, Paul was the one who was the nice guy, which is why I popped in and said, you know, hold on a minute, you don't have a bad life and that sort of stuff. Anyway, I was in stitches. I was absolutely beside myself with laughing, and it really made me laugh, and I hope it made you laugh. And then we got into the car, and Vasily was in charge of the driving, and I started off the video by saying what a spectacular view, but unfortunately it's obscured by the bin and the trees and the sign. And she then said, she did say bin, but I thought she meant beans, and I thought she was confusing her English again, as she does with her rapping and her raping. So those of you who are new to the channel perhaps are missing out a lot, because when she comes back, I promise you, we're going to go to new heights. And we don't take life very seriously, because we understand that we only have the one life. So hopefully, Alan, you're there walking like crazy, or starting to jog perhaps. I've decided, by the way, to slow down when I'm driving. I do drive quite slowly, by it. I don't break speed limits, as I keep telling you, but I understand that when I'm driving along and the camera is filming and the road surfaces, because they are so Sherlock Holmes, it doesn't matter how slow you drive and how you try to avoid the potholes, it's impossible. I'm going to go and have a word with Gumbarrow number 1, because the roads, to be honest, in Paphos are way beyond Sherlock Holmes. I mean, I think Sherlock Holmes is being just too polite. So I'm going to go and see him in his office on Friday, kick his door down, walk in, and literally have a word with him, because you know, you need to stop spending money on putting these stupid smart city signs up that tell us the temperature and the air pressure, and spend some money on the bloody roads, you idiot. Because you know, I know you don't like cars. All these politicians in the world hate cars because, you know, they're polluting things, but by God, they don't half like to take the road tax off us. They don't half like to fine us when we're doing things wrong, and they don't half like to put VAT on all the car prices, and, you know, they don't half like to charge a lot for the benzene that goes into them. You know, get a reality check, boys. If cars go off the road, the governments of the world will go bankrupt. Simple. Anyway, that's the rant over. Alan, he's still there. A big shout out to Sean and Dawn, and slowly becoming to know you two. Dawn apparently lived in Cyprus up until the mid-90s, so obviously I presume she was here with the mum and dad or something like that. So she obviously has an attraction and an attachment to Cyprus, and I presume it was Paphos. Anyway, hopefully you're going to come out on your holidays here, and hopefully we'll bump into you and have a chat. But in the meantime, please enjoy your breakfast, and if you are curious to know what time it is, it's approximately 6:10. I'm trying to avoid these potholes, by the way, and it's 15.5 degrees, but the roads, I know we go on about them all the time, they are absolutely diabolical. I mean, what can you say? And these are the main roads, by the way. For some unknown reason to me, when you go down some of the back streets, they've tarmacked them, and you just ponder why. But I mean, to be honest, the tarmacking they've done is no better than the tarmacking that was there before. But there you go. Perhaps we should get some decent tarmacking companies to come down to downtown Paphos and do some work, because I'm sure you can hear the potholes crashing away. And I am in a Mercedes E-Class, you know, it's supposedly one of the most comfortable cars in the world. So I think I'm going to go and get myself a Nissan Note, a brilliant car, but drive around in that, and then, you know, you're really going to understand just how bad the roads are. Anyway, that's the rant over. We are on the tree-lined road to paradise. Lots of people like this road. Miss Maggie loves this road because she understands where it's going to, down to where she lives when she comes to downtown Paphos. Dame Anne loves it. Oh So Sweet loves it, because they all understand that it's going to take them down to the one and only greatest hotel possibly in the world, and that hotel is Alexander the Great. You may have seen some blue flashing lights over there on the right hand side. That's the Gumbarrows in blue. They like to drive around with their lights flashing. People have asked, why do they do that? I don't know. It's just to let you know that they're on duty, I think, in between drinking frappes, smoking cigarettes, and standing by the roadside. Anyway, rant is over definitely now. We're about to approach the roundabout that would take us down to paradise, and as I said at the start, we're going to take a right along the inner dual carriageway and we're going to head out towards Little Russia and the big church and carry on moseying on down, and we're going to then end up at the roundabout by the Paphos Mall, and then we're going to go straight and we're going to go continue along Tomb of the Kings Avenue, and then we are going to take a left into McDonald's, Miss Andrea. Haven't decided what I'm going to have. I'm toying between a Big Tasty, a Chicken Grand and a Royal Cheese. Listen to these potholes, they're just unbelievable, unbelievable. And it doesn't matter if you swerve that way or that way, there's another one waiting for you that's even bigger, so if you are wondering. So I'm going to drive that a little bit slower to allow Alan to keep up with us, shall we say, and hopefully that will stop the camera bouncing around quite so much. There's a good barrow in a big rush. He's luckily, because it's tea time, so the good barrow's in blue, to be honest, busy racing around looking for frappes. There's a pussycat, had a lucky escape. If you wonder what that little erratic movement of, a cat jumped out into the road, I spotted him, so I did a quick swerve and then he jumped back in. It's one of the things, I've only ever killed one cat in my life, and I really hate that moment, and I hate even thinking about it. One night I was in North Wales, and I swear to God I was driving at 20 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, and this beautiful white cat ran out in front of me, and I braked so hard, and I mean I braked hard, but unfortunately I clipped him and he died instantly, and I was beside myself. I really was, because it's not something I like to do. And I stopped the car, picked this cat up. There was not a mark on it, nothing. It just, the impact had killed him. Obviously it hit his head or something, and I carried him to the side of the street, and I said a little prayer for him, and I hope that the people then came and found him. But I didn't want to leave him in the road to watch him get splattered by other cars as it got darker and that kind of thing. And remember that moment for the rest of my life. I really will. It was a beautiful snow white cat, and you never know, hopefully we'll meet in the next life and I will say sorry to him, and I really will. But I think he understood that I braked hard, and I mean it, I really did. I was in a BMW Alpina at the time, what's known as a B3 if you're into your cars, and that was my pride and joy at the time. It was about 2 years old when I bought it, and had it for about 4 years, and it was a fantastic car. People who know anything about cars understand that there was a BMW M3 Coupe, and this was the Alpina version, so this was a BMW tuning specialist that are actually recognised as a car manufacturer. So they take cars from BMW and make them better, in my opinion. Some people will say they take the rawness out of them, but what they make them into is a bit more comfortable than an M3, for example, but just as fast, and then they stick an automatic gearbox in there, which, well, as most people understand, Paul is a lover of the automatic gearbox, and it was known as the Chester Bypass Stormer. Anyone who wanted to duel with me was going to lose, and that included a man once in an Aston Martin. He was left with a bit of egg on his face. Anyway, that was in my younger days when I was a bit more, shall we say, crazy. Anyway, we've come over the Tomb of the Kings roundabout, which of course has the Mall to its right hand side. If you'd have gone left there, you'd have gone down to the Paphos Harbour. So this is Tomb of the Kings at night. If you're wondering what time of year it is, first week of January, so not a lot going on. Although, to be honest, there's quite a few people walking around and looking for something to eat, like Mr. Paul. So I'm still undecided, Andrea. What should I get? Big Tasty, Royal Cheese, Big Mac. We haven't got long to decide. I can imagine Andrea sit there on the sofa now saying, go on, go for the Big Tasty. No, Mr. Mart saying, no, go for the Royal Cheese. Go for a McChicken. I'll wait till the very last moment when we pull in, and I'll have a quick scan of the menu. And I've got to choose for my brother as well, because, you know, I've got to feed him. He's a growing lad, you know. People who watch the early channel have seen him once or twice. Double Trouble have met him. He's a big lad. He's 6'2", 6'3". Although he says he's getting older, so he's starting to shrink. He's only 6'2", monster of a man. So remember, if you upset me, you upset him as well. And if he hits you, I'm telling you, it's going to hurt. Anyway, we're in McDonald's, Andrea. Here we are. Look, all your dreams have come true. And it looks pretty busy. There's people queuing, jumping at the bit to get into McDonald's because they want to get their teeth into the greatest French fries in the world. McDonald's has a soft spot in my heart, by the way. I've been a McDonald's fan for many, many years. I think it's something to do with perhaps the American education I had when I was in Egypt. And we had a Wimpy there, and then just before we left, a McDonald's did open. So there you go. That's McDonald's. A bit boring the video now because we're stuck behind a Daihatsu Terios. Not the greatest car in the world, but very popular with farmers in the UK and very popular with vets because it's quite nimble. They do have four-wheel drive, which you can select permanently, and on top of all of that, it's quite reasonably priced.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Could I have one royal cheese meal?
Large meal.
Large.
Drink?
And Coca-Cola, please.
Yes.
And could I have one grand chicken special?
Large meal.
Large meal.
Drink?
Coca-Cola, please.
Something else?
And could I have one McFlurry?
McFlurry?
Yes.
What flavor?
Plain, please.
Plain.
Plain. Thank you.
Well, fair enough, please.
Thank you. So there we go. Perfect English, as you can see. It's very easy to communicate with the gentleman in the McDonald's in downtown Paphos. I think he probably is a Greek gentleman because they tend to employ a lot of Greeks because they're that little bit cheaper than Cypriots to employ, if you understand me. Not trying to demean them or insult Cypriots, but if you come here on holiday, you know, holidays is one thing, living here is another thing. So let me get my hand into my pocket and let me see if I've got any money. Hopefully we have. Not a lot left, but we've probably got enough for McDonald's. There you go. There's one of those notes with a 5 and a 0 on it. So that should cover this bill. Anyway, back to the Terios. Actually a very good car, very, very popular car in Cyprus. And the reason for that is it's quite nimble. It's a little bit jacked up, but not too big when you want to park it. And it's got quite a small engine, 1.5 petrol engine, so it's not too uneconomical, but also it's very low on the road tax. The road tax on that car there is around about €100, so that's why it's quite popular in Cyprus. And before they joined the euro, if you understand me, there was huge taxes, and I mean huge taxes on any car with an engine above a 1.6 litre, hence why that car, the Honda HR-V, is very, very popular. Yes, yes. Sorry? English?
You ordered?
Yes. I ordered grand chicken, a cheese royal, was it? And 2 Coca-Colas, large meals, yeah, and a McFlurry. I think they've got technical problems here. You can hear them shouting and someone missed before. And they're quite busy as well. You can see a nice lad, very, very polite, very, very gentle with his English. Which is what I always find in the downtown McDonald's, very, very polite people indeed. And not quite as busy as the uptown, because this one is more frequented by tourists, whereas the uptown is more by the locals.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, young man. Thank you very much. So, we'll proceed to the next window. We know the procedure. Most people have been through a drive-through McDonald's, and they will prepare our food and then they'll pass it to us through the second window. And again, there does seem to be confusion because the lady in front is handing her receipt out. So I think what happened is the car at the very beginning went through without ordering, and then I think the car behind me did the same, by the way. It was probably on their mobile phones or smoking a cigarette or putting their flip-flops on, you know. There we go. That's the rant over. So Alan, hopefully you're doing all right on that treadmill, and Dawn, Sean, hopefully you've enjoyed your breakfast. I've asked Sean to tell me, what do you normally have for breakfast? So then of course I can include that part in the video, and the rest of the family members can get involved and say, hey, you know, you shouldn't have eggs or whatever. And as I was saying to Justine before, because she mentioned something about eggs, I can't remember what it was now, but it's quite funny. And I said, well, we don't buy eggs in Cyprus anymore, particularly in Paphos, because by the time you've bought them and by the time you get them home, because the roads are so bad, they're all broken. So there we go, not much point. Again, as you can see there's a bit of confusion. Something was passed out and now it's been passed back. So, and it was a McFlurry. So I got a feeling that that's my McFlurry. Hopefully that's not my Coke, because I'll get very upset if it is. Anyway, bear with us. Bit of a boring video for you. There we are, going through a McDonald's drive-through. But let's get the order done, and then of course I'll say thanks for watching. And if you like what you see, hit the like, click subscribe, and perhaps come back for a little bit more of my insanity. Perhaps, maybe not. And if you'd like to buy me a coffee, well, you know what you do. You click through to the About page. There's an icon which allows you to go through and register one of your plastic cards. And of course, you can consider buying myself a coffee, Marika a coffee, yourself a coffee, and anyone else you'd like to buy a coffee. And it would be very, very much appreciated. I think we're getting close to getting served, and I can imagine my brother's at home now thinking, where the hell has he gone? I want my McDonald's and I'm hungry. When he comes back, I'm going to punch him. There we go. And as I told you before, if he hits you, it's going to hurt. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, there goes the receipt again. Awful lot of confusion. And as you can see, none of our videos are rehearsed, none of our videos are scripted. They are what we're going to call live, isn't it? What we do is live. So it's lights, camera, action, and off we go. What happens is what happens. We take the good with the bad. And so far, we've not been stopped for speeding, we've not been shot by a mad maniac, and not many people swear at us on camera. There we go. So he's having his money back. Right. He's decided he doesn't want to wait, or whatever it is. So excitement, real drama in the downtown Tomb of the Kings McDonald's. Who would have thought you could get this much excitement on Marika and me when you go through a drive-through in McDonald's? Right, hopefully it's our turn, and hopefully my McFlurry hasn't melted, and hopefully everything will be fine. Yes, yes. You want that? I said there is huge confusion. Someone has mucked them around, that's for sure. And they're running around like they're in six. The manager's in there as well. I actually know him. He's a really nice guy. And they're trying to sort out whatever the problem is. English.
You want the base or no?
Sorry?
Do you want the base?
Yes, please. Yes, thank you. There we are. So they say something's gone wrong somewhere. They're rapidly correcting it. My 2 Coca-Colas are on the way. I can see my McFlurry chilling out. And they're frantically making the burgers. So stick with us for that little bit longer. You never thought you could have this much excitement, did you? Downtown Paphos. First week of Jan. Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you. There we are. There's the Coca-Colas being delivered. Look at that, Miss Andrea. Look at that. 2 Coca-Colas. Oh, one's gone. That's all. That's okay. Don't worry. It's all right. Thank you. That's it, yeah? Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you. And we're off. There we are. So that was one of the Coca-Colas that tilted over a little bit, Miss Andrea. And we've got a little bit of Coke on the seat, but not too bad. So, there we go. That was your excitement for the day, shall we say. And we're going to go home now. Sorry for the camera falling over, but it's very, very difficult to do all of this and go through a drive-through at the same time. So, thanks for watching. And if we're very, very lucky, I'll survive. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.